Hey, you were so excited, aren't you? He's so excited. Did you take a shot?
Are we saying? Are we saying it?
We can always cut the first part. We can always say Merry Christmas, whatever.
We're never gonna get through this. So what am I supposed to say? Okay, I gotta stop laughing first.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Mom and Son Unplugged. I'm Damonte, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about navigating your 20s and things you wish you knew during your 20s to help prepare 20-year-olds and have thoughts of other people to reflect on what they wish they knew in their 20s.
Yeah, like Damonte said, welcome back to our second episode. Thank you for joining us again. So first things first, before we get started, I want to congratulate Damonte on a recent promotion that he just received at his job. So Damonte, tell us a little bit about what position you were doing and what position you're in now. Like, what did you get promoted to? Because being a college grad of, being 2 years since being graduated from college, um, I feel you got a pretty significant promotion, which is awesome. So tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. Um, I just got promoted to a value stream leader at my company, and the position I came from was a LEAP Associate, which is a recent college graduate program. Um, and I think I touched on it in the last episode a little bit, but I do a couple of rotations throughout the facility, and then a lot of it is focused on training leadership skills to rotate out of the program after the 2 years is done. So I was coming up with my 2 years in June, and now I'll be a value stream leader where I'll be able to oversee the safety, quality, efficiency, and continuous improvement of a few production lines within our manufacturing facility.
Nice. So how do you feel about the promotion?
I'm excited. I think it's a big step in my career. So definitely looking forward to seeing what I'll be able to do with my team going forward.
Nice. Okay, so one little tidbit I want to tell y'all about. So, um, I told Damonte, I was like, when you move into your apartment, one thing I want to get for you is this. It's called the money tree. And I was like, I'm going to give you a money tree. I was like, because I had gotten a money tree for me, I think it was like a couple years ago or so. Um, and upon finding out about the money tree, it's supposed to bring good fortune and bring wealth into your life. And when I received the money tree, a lot of good things kept happening for me. I was getting pay raises, and it's supposed to attract wealth. So, not too long after Damonte moved into his apartment, I had sent him the money tree. So actually, not too long after he received the money tree was when he received this promotion. Um, so I don't know if it's coincidence, but I swear by the money tree. So if y'all want to know more about the money tree, where I got it, um, or you can Google it, just like leave us a comment and then I'll send y'all the information on where we got ours from. But he received the promotion sooner than what he had expected. So I was like, I attribute it to not just his hard work that he earned, but also to the money tree, I swear. So I recommend it. All right. So um now that we recognize Damonte, we're gonna get rolling into things we wish we knew sooner, and also like what Damonte's experiencing so far being in his 20s. So, all
Sweet.
right, Damonte, what do you got to say?
So I think we're gonna start with a big conception about being in your 20s and having to have everything figured out by the time you're exiting your 20s or in the middle of your 20s. And I think a lot of people think if you don't have things figured out by the time you're 30, then you're doing something wrong. But we're gonna dive into it and get some advice from my mother as to
Oh my
what.
gosh. I hope I can give some good advice. Um, so I will say the top three things that I kind of wish I knew in my 20s was I really wished I focused more on my finances. I really wish I had put more effort and importance on budgeting, saving, and investing. Those were things I just didn't put on my priority list as something being very important. Another thing that I think was, is important in your 20s is it's okay to start over. I think in your 20s, it's that time to figure out who you are, make mistakes, start over again. Like 20s is just, really figuring out your life. And then number three, another thing that I wish I knew in my 20s was not conforming to society's views of when you should have something completed by. Because you know how society always has those timelines of, oh, you need to be in a career by 25 or be married by 30, have kids by a certain age, buy a house by a certain age. I think sometimes we get so wrapped up into those views to where it's like, no, like things are going to happen on your time when it's meant for you to happen. And um, yeah, so those were kind of like top three things for me that I wish I really I guess really took into consideration when I was in my 20s. Yeah, so I think it's like it's not okay to have it all figured out. So Damonte, being in your 20s, do you feel that there is pressure to conform to the society's views of having to get things done by a certain time, by a certain age, or any milestones?
Yeah, I think especially with social media being so big, and I feel like you're starting to hear more about people who are getting away from it. But I think now that the internet's bigger and it's easier to see people who have a lot, it makes a lot of people feel like, oh, they should have X, Y, and Z by the time they're 21 because you see a bunch of kids making money online. And I think it makes a lot of people think that they can do it too, and they can. But I think a lot of people feel like they have to, or or they're just useless in a way. And I think that weighs heavy on a lot of people. But like you were saying, everyone's path is different. Um, and I think once people accept that, it makes it a little bit easier. Um, but yeah, and I think there's a lot of timelines like excluding like monetary stuff too, like being in relationships
Mhm.
and starting families. I mean, especially being in Utah, that's like the common thing.
Yeah, actually, no, you bring up a really good point. So, how is it for you being um I am so sorry. I am having like a brain fart. I just like spaced out for a second. Yeah, so how is it for you, being 23 and like is there pressure to get married and start a family at your age? And do you feel it's because you're in Utah or other friends your age like talking about this?
um, I think it depends on who you're around or like who your group is. I think if I hung around more people who are from Utah, I think I would hear about it a lot more. But there's friends that I've gone to high school with who are getting married, and even friends within our group, like our friend group, who've gotten married so far. But no one like really talks about it. Like people are missing out, or like they're the odd one out because they're not ready or in a relationship that's heading that direction. So not particularly me. I don't feel it, but I know that other people think that way.
Oh, and that's so crazy. And honestly, like I think it's crazy because it really just shows kind of a drastic difference of Damonte's generation now and what my generation was in our early 20s. And I don't know if it attributes to me being in the military, because when I was 20, 2021, because I got pregnant with Damonte when I was 21, and all everyone that Damonte's dad and I were friends with, every single one of them, we were all having babies at the same time. And now that I think about it, I'm like, that is just so young. Like 21 years old, being pregnant. But we were in a career. But it just seemed like it was quicker than what it should be. But literally, we were having baby showers for our friends, like back to back to back, and um our friends were getting married around the same time, having babies at the same time. So yeah, and I don't even know if it was more like a societal pressure of, oh, you have to get this started because you're in your young 20s. But and honestly, when I was in the military, when you first came in, you lived in the dorms, in the dormitories, and some people were getting married just so they could move out of the dorms. And it was just so crazy to think about it, like like that was the way out or something. Was yeah, people were getting married just to be able to move off base, have an apartment. So I will say, I guess that was kind of like a societal, like, I wouldn't even say pressure, but I think it was just more so kind of like pressure that we put on ourselves, like,
Mm.
oh, this is, the things that we want to do. But
Yeah.
yeah. But do you personally feel the pressure to start a family, have kids, or anything like that?
Not at all.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, from you sometimes, but
Oh no, like I definitely want you to take your time.
I
Like,
mean, maybe not pressure, but I know that you want grandkids.
oh, eventually, but I know, like, whenever that happens for you, like, I feel like I'm gonna have to seriously consider moving out of Tampa and moving wherever you are, and I'm not ready to do that yet, so I'm not ready for you to have a kid yet. Because 'cause I'm like, I don't wanna be the long distance grandmother. Like, and I'm not ready to be called a grandmother yet, so you can take as long as you wish. Unless you move to Tampa, then cool. Yep. Then you can start whenever. But no, like, I really want Damonte to have, um, a good foundation. I want him to be ready, and when the time happens, I want it to happen, when he's ready for it. And then whoever he's with, you know, they're
How did you know? Did you think you were ready?
no, no, it was a surprise. Oh my God, I can't wait until we do an episode with your dad because it's gonna be so much fun. But no, we like literally, me and Damonte's dad, we were deployed at the time. We were deployed to Turkey, and me and his dad were taking this college class together. And oh my God, I wish he was on this episode because it was so funny. So we were like writing notes to each other in our college class. Yeah, like we were 21 years old, and and I was writing a note to him, like asking, like, "Oh, do you want to move in together?" Like we were literally just having discussions about, do we want to move in together, like when we get back from Turkey? Because we had been dating for, I think, a couple years at this point. Um, and then got pregnant on deployment, and that just kind of sealed the deal. We didn't plan it to happen, it just happened. um so the story is when I deployed, I didn't bring enough birth control with me. And so I don't know why I think the way that I think. People are probably like, "What's wrong with you?" But I was like well, let me skip a month of birth control, and then I will start my last pack of birth control on the last month of deployment, so that way when I get back, I'll just re-up my prescription and then just like and then just continue it on from there. So when I skipped that month of birth control, I don't even think I communicated that like with your dad. Um,
Nice.
so
You got
communication
trapped.
communication's very important. Yeah, so when I decided to skip that month of birth control, that's when it happened. Um, yeah, so no, it was not planned. It was a pleasant surprise. It was a scary surprise because I'm like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? um, but I'll wait and have your dad tell the story of how I told him. I think he still thinks it's funny to this day. Um, but yeah, it was a surprise because literally, like growing up, I was the one that was like going into the stores and hearing kids crying. I'm just kind of like, shut that kid up. Like, like I did not like kids. And I think God knew what he was doing when he blessed me with Damonte, because Damonte was like the best kid ever. Like, never, like, the only time he cried was when he was hungry or needed a diaper change. But other than that, like, it was smooth sailing. So, he knew what he was doing. He knew I couldn't handle anymore, like any more out of a kid. So, he made him perfect. And yeah, so no, it was definitely a surprise, but it was awesome. Like it was great. Like the pregnancy was great. Um, the labor took forever. But no, yeah, so it was a surprise.
We might have to title the episode "Finding Out I'm an Accident."
What's that?
I said we might have to title the episode "Finding Out I'm an Accident."
Yeah, we could do that. I know, right? It went from things we wish we knew sooner to Damonte Damonte just finding out he was an accident.
On the second episode of our podcast.
Yeah. Sometimes when accidents happen, they're like the best accidents. Like things happen for a reason. Thank God for my like insane way of thinking. I don't know. um Yeah. So, okay, where are we at with where are we at with our episode of things things you wish you knew sooner. Did you wish you knew that sooner?
I was fine not knowing that. um,
So, moral of the story, having relations with your girlfriend, make sure communication is top tier. Ask questions because she ain't gonna tell you. Like, you gotta ask questions like, did you take your birth control today? Like,
um, so you said you wish you would have known about like saving and investing and budgeting earlier.
yeah.
What were you doing with your money? Were you just going out every weekend like me?
So, um, so the first chance that I got to move out of the dorms, I did. I got this one bedroom apartment. It was when I was stationed in Hampton, Virginia. I got this one bedroom apartment. Back then it was $400 a month.
That's
And
sick.
we didn't get paid a lot back then. I literally got a second job just so I didn't have to have a roommate. So I worked at Joanne Fabrics. So I had my full-time military career, and then I worked at Joanne Fabrics part-time just so I could pay my car note, pay insurance.
How much was your
Um,
paycheck?
got I think it may have been $700. Like it wasn't a lot. Like maybe 1,400 for the month.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
Like if that, like I don't even remember. Like
Your rent was a quarter of your monthly paycheck? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know if I got paid that much, to be honest. Like, I may be, um, putting it a little higher. I don't know. Maybe your dad would remember how much we got paid back then,
I'm sure he would.
but, like, I know I was struggling, like, yeah, so, like, my money, I just honestly felt like it was going towards rent, car insurance. I remember my car was I got a Chevy Cavalier, and I remember my first payment for, like, well, for the my car payment was $197. I do remember that, and that felt
Jesus.
like a lot at the time because 'cause I'm
I mean,
like
yeah, it's half your rent. You could have been
yeah.
sleeping in it.
Yep, exactly. So that's like $600 right there. And then food. And then back then there was no cell phones. I had the phone on the wall with the long cord. Um,
You must have been
and
shopping a lot
probably and I did go out.
every
So,
weekend.
huh?
Every weekend.
Literally, like yeah, probably every single weekend. Like, I remember me and my friend Dion, her and I are still friends to this day. So I was 19 years old and okay, super horrible bad decisions, but she was married and I would use her maiden name ID card to get into the clubs because she was older than me. And I would go like 5 people in front of her just to make sure I got in. And then she would follow up with her married name ID card. But yeah, her and I would go out all the time. All the time. During the week, show up to work tired. Like
I see where I get it from.
yep. Yeah, and then yeah, so we would have to, buy new clothes every time we went out. Yeah, so that's what I did. That's what I did with my money. So it was not very smart. Um but also I didn't have the structure back then to be able to really set aside my finances, and I wish I did better. Like, I really wish someone instilled in me, like, how important saving was. But
When do you
yeah.
think you understood? Or what made you understand? The
Um
house? The first house?
I'm gonna be honest, this is so embarrassing. Probably, like, a few years ago. Um,
Like,
like,
was there a moment where you were like, okay, I need to like get this sorted out?
okay, so I really still don't think I have. I'm gonna be straight up honest. Like, I do save money. I put money away in my 401k. So let me tell you this conversation that I had the other day at work. So this is where I was talking to my friend Nancy yesterday, and I was like, I really think I have issues understanding um I think I have a hard time understanding if something's expensive or not, and if something makes sense. I don't know why my brain is like this, and I wish it wasn't, because I think I focus more on I want to live my best life and I want to enjoy all the experiences. And so the other day I was at work and I looked up my upcoming flight for my trip that I have coming up at the end of June because I wanted to look at the seat upgrades. Um, and forgive me, but I don't like sitting in economy. I just don't. And this is going to be a long flight. And I am too old to be sitting straight up in economy and being uncomfortable. And I feel like I have worked hard and I have earned to treat myself. And that's the
Mind
way I
you,
feel.
mind you, she sleeps for half the flight, if not
Yes.
longer. So the experience doesn't matter.
But I want to be comfortable
Anyways,
sleeping. So I was logged into my flight and I turned to my coworker And I asked her, I was like, if you had the money, would you pay $4,500 for it for an upgrade to Delta One, the Delta One section, so you
That
can
better
lay
be
down?
that better be Air Force One for $4,500. That's crazy.
And this was only for the Tampa to Amsterdam segment. It wasn't even for like the whole round trip ticket. And and she looked at me and she was like, "Well, if it's important to you." And I was like, "Well, my current seat is like the Delta Comfort Plus or something like that." And I told her, I don't sit in economy with the peasants. And she looked at me and she was like, "That's where I sit." And like the look on her face, I was just like, "Why are you sitting back there? Like that's so uncomfortable."
Wow, this is where the podcast gets canceled.
I know. So sorry. No, but I do sit in economy, like, depending on what kind of trip it is. Like,
If there's no other options.
if I'm broke. No. No, but it's like if I'm doing like quick trips to like Maryland or wherever or DC, I'll fly Southwest. That one's a first come, first serve. I don't mind. Like, I really don't. I've flown JetBlue. Um, their seats are great. But when I am doing a birthday trip, the vacation starts when you get to the airport. Like, and it starts on the plane. Like, it's going to be great. But needless to say, okay, so this is what I ended up doing. All right. So we're going on, we're still on track, but a little off topic. So yesterday or the other day, when I encounter problems, I see it as Melissa, try harder. Because I was going online when I got home from work, went on my laptop, and I tried to buy an upgrade. So I'm in like Delta Comfort, whatever, and then the next one is like Supreme Comfort or something. It's like a recliner. And so I was picking my seats, and then it wouldn't let me complete the process. It kept going to a blank screen. I was trying it on the app on my phone, and it wasn't going through. So I don't think like, Melissa, this isn't meant to be. It's Melissa, try harder. So the next day, I called Delta
Jeez.
and talked to a customer service rep, and I was like, I'm trying to get these seats. So I got the reclining one, and on the way back, I got Delta One because it was way cheaper. And I was like, I can afford the Delta One on the way back. So yeah.
Does the audience want to know how much it was?
No,
What
it
way
wasn't
cheaper means?
bad. Like, it wasn't bad. It was under $800 coming back. And to me, it was worth it because it's like, I'm gonna need some rest and relaxation after this trip. So yeah, it was worth it to me.
Okay. I was gonna say before you started this that I think you have it figured out since you budget and you invest now, but no.
But I will say though, and I will say Damonte has really taught me a lot about investing. So Damonte, tell everyone, like, when did you start investing and how did you learn?
um I would say it's probably started when I was 15 is when I heard about it. Um and I would see on the internet like people making a bunch of money from trading. Um but my dad was the one who talked to me about investing and like the power of investing, but I didn't really understand it because at the time I just related it to like getting rich quick
Oh,
and like
okay.
not having to have like a standard job. Like I knew that opportunity was there, so it was always a little bit interesting. Um, but when I was 16, my dad opened up a custodial account for me. Um, and I would just mess around. He would just tell me like, just do some research into things that you think might be worthwhile. and then he would tell me what he was investing in, and then that sort of started it. And I probably only made like a couple bucks. Like I probably put in 100 and I made $7.
All right, so
Um,
you put in $100 at 16 years old,
yeah,
right? Okay.
yep.
So I just
Because
wanted to put that out there for, if we have any viewers that are your age or even a little younger. So where did you
or
get that?
parents,
What's that?
or
Oh
parents
yeah, or parents. So where did you get that money from to start investing?
working
And where did you work at the time?
Chipotle,
All
washing
right.
dishes.
So how in your mind did you decide I would rather invest this $100 or spend $100 on a brand new pair of sneakers?
Because I thought I was Wolf of Wall Street, and I thought I was gonna be able to stop working soon.
No, but that's a good motivation though. Like that is really good motivation to, you know, to make those kind of decisions, especially at that age. Cause I mean, to be honest, like I I just started thinking that way, but also I still haven't I don't think I'm at the point of where Damonte's at, like with a financial mindset.
Mm. um, this isn't financial advice, but I think it was in Kronos Group. I think that's what I invested in a little bit, and I made like a little bit back. But this was like 7 years ago. But I don't know how they're performing now, or if it would have been smart to hold it. But
So
I'm
what's
pretty sure
Chronos Group?
I have no clue. I can tell you. It's been so
Oh.
long.
Oh, okay.
But that was sort of the end of that for a while. Um, and then when I got to college, I started investing a little bit more and learning about it because I had more time when I was in college to do things, which sounds weird, but I feel like college was the most time I had to do what I want. Um, and me and my roommate, we would trade options a lot, which wasn't really investing. It was more of an active thing. It was trading, not investing. A lot of people say there's a difference between that.
Oh, okay.
Um, but there was like really, really good highs and really low lows. And then ultimately I stopped until I started working, and then I started investing. I started investing more, but I trade a little bit now, but not as much as I used to. But then I think when I was graduating college, I started learning about like high yield savings accounts
Mm-hmm.
because that was when I think my dad and I were talking right after like I was starting to get like my first couple of paychecks, and we were just talking about things that I want like within the next 10 years, like before I turn 30. And he was like, it'd probably be best if you had like a reoccurring air or like reoccurring account that you put money in, and a high yield savings account was the smartest because at the time the interest rates that they were offering were really good, and there were really good bonuses going on. I think I was getting like close to 5%
Oh, wow, that's
AP,
really good.
yeah, APY for like the first couple of months. But now it's starting to drop down a bit. So I mean, especially in the time in the market that we're at right now,
Mm-hmm.
I think you know firsthand since you've started to invest, but we're starting to return to where we're at. So it's more wise to be in the market right now than in an account. And I think
Right.
my investing advice, and I think I've told you this before, is having money in a checking account or in a saving account that isn't high yield is probably the least smart place to have your money
I
because
agree.
it's not doing anything there.
I agree. And I will say that is something that I have regretted not doing sooner was getting a high yield savings account because I literally just opened up one earlier this year. And I wish I did it years ago. So I started putting money in a high yield savings account, and then I just reached 3.8% APR. Cuz I guess like the bank that I chose, it's like once you have deposited a certain amount, then it increased your APR percentage.
Mm.
And I'm like, man, I was like, I kicked myself for not doing this sooner because it was just chilling in a savings account, not accruing any money, like
I guess a
nothing.
crazy example that I have is I was helping a gentleman at work, um, and he's pretty smart with money. Like me and him, we talk about the stock market when he's at work, and he couldn't like link one of his banks, and he had like a crazy amount sitting in his savings account,
Mm,
like in the five digits. And I'm like,
wow.
having five digits in a savings account really doesn't do anything unless
Mm-mm.
it's for a planned purchase that's upcoming. Like that's the only. And I think there's a really tricky line, and obviously I'm not a financial expert, but I think a lot of people are bad with credit. But I think once you can learn
Mm-hmm.
the value of leveraging credit,
Right.
it can
Yep.
be a really good thing for yourself. But I always knew. I mean, my dad sort of talked me through it all. But I had a credit card. I think after my dad realized I was responsible with my debit card, and
Mm-hmm.
I would never overdraft it, then he was like, "Okay, let's get you a really standard credit card." And then he taught me about credit score, and then it was like co-signing me on a car
Yep.
and being on time with payments. And my credit score is pretty good right now. But now it's like I think I learned a little bit before you did, but then like using points on credit cards and
Yes.
like
Yep.
leveraging that and using credit cards for everything. Because I think that's another thing. Like when you learn that money in a account that doesn't return you anything, once you learn that that's good, I think the next step is learning that you should probably stop using debit cards.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Oh my God. That's like another thing that I was like, man, I wish I knew sooner. Um, because it's like and I think people don't realize like the benefits to using a credit card. And I feel credit cards have such a bad name or bad it has like a I can't think of the word. Um
It's not a bad reputation, but
yeah, like they're looked at in a negative light, I think, because people don't use them to their advantage. Um I think because when you're swiping the card, you're not thinking like, oh, I gotta pay this back. This ain't free money. But I think over the past maybe 6 months or so, one of my good friends, her and her husband, they utilize credit cards appropriately. Like they're on a vacation right now to France that was paid for by points because they used credit cards how you're supposed to use them, pay them off, and it's like allow all of these um like all of these services that are at our fingertips, use them for your benefit. And it's like I wish I didn't learn about these or understand them so late in life.
so yeah, I think that's a good bit on finances.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess that gives both of our perspectives of like what you wish you know
Yep.
and what I know.
Yeah, and I do wish and I know schools and teachers, they have a lot of pressure to teach students the certain curriculum, because a lot of adults, they don't grow up knowing this stuff. And it's like, man, I really wish at some point in school they touched on it or at least educated kids on finances because that's a huge part. Like, I remember being in um crap, I don't know if it was, I think it was like elementary school where we did have home economics class to where we learned how to sew. There was an automotive class that taught you how to change your oil. Um, we had another class where we learned how to cook certain things. And it's like, I really feel that those things need to be brought back into the school system. I don't know if some schools have that. I don't know. But um, I mean, like certain things I think are just, I, I think finances would be important to be put in the school system to at least give kids like a little spark of that information so that way they can, either research a little bit more on their own. But no, I think finances, saving money, investing, stocks, all of that, it's really important because it's opportunities for us to make money and grow our money. But
I agree.
and I will say when Damonte, I don't know, I always knew Damonte was going to be smart with math and money and numbers because when Damonte was a little kid, like God, I don't even know at what age, maybe 2, 3 years old, he would carry a calculator with him. He would carry a calculator with him everywhere. And we would be like driving in the car and he would do math problems on the calculator and then he would quiz me and I'm like I don't know the answer. But like he loved just carrying a calculator on him and just figuring out things. So it's like I knew he was going to have a bright future. But all right. So if y'all have any questions for Damonte about money, because clearly I am not the person because I'm still YOLOing it up. um, yeah, y'all can leave a comment for Damonte about investing and so before we segue into the next um topic, can you tell us what was one like stock transaction that got you the most excited and was like, man, like I am so excited that I did this and I'm going to continue doing this.
It was probably like the biggest week of wins, and I called my mom like when it happened. I'm pretty sure I called my dad too. But every quarter, companies report earnings, and
Oh.
typically after the earnings report, you'll see a big fluctuation depending on if they meet expectations or if they miss expectations. And when you trade options, it's it's a almost like leverage betting in a way. Um, and I remember that typ- typically like the big companies, they call them like the big seven or like the magnificent seven. They report around the same time every quarter. And I remember betting that Google was going to beat earnings. And the the exciting part about earnings is like you don't know. Like it really is a gamble. And I remember I put like $500 that it was going to go up. And then like they report before and after market close. But for like the big ones, it's always after market close, but you can't transact your positions and options until the next market trading day. So it was like a Tuesday and Google reported, and it was like me and my buddy were like looking at the stock market, seeing if Google was going to beat or not, and they beat, and it jumped like 14%, which is like a huge jump. And we are like calculating the math, and it was going to be like a $5,000 return.
Dang.
So it was like, and we always joke like the the funniest or like worst parts would be like we'd be sitting in class and we'd be up like thousands of dollars, or we'd be down thousands, like sitting in class. But it was like, so I made $5,000 that Wednesday, and then that Thursday, Facebook was reporting, and I bet that they were going to go down, and then they missed and went down like 11%, and that was like another 5,000. So like the
Dang.
10,000 on the week was like the most exciting I had ever been, but
That's
I
awesome.
I took 5,000 out and spent it because I wanted to know like
Yeah.
what it was like to like win and feel rewarded, and then I lost the other 5,000. So
Oh, man. No, but that's awesome. So, yeah, I do remember that. That's why I asked the question because it's like I wanted you to be able to tell that story of like, just taking a chance and you never know.
and I think something, if anyone like does anything not trading related, but I think sometimes it's hard to take your wins when they're little wins. And I think even to this day, like when me and my friends trade, it's like, man, this is like I was at this point and I could have made this much, but I didn't, and now I lost money. So I think greed is like a big thing, like
Mm-hmm.
to learn when trading.
Yep. Oh, I agree. Definitely. Man, well, thank you so much for your input on that. Like, so hopefully y'all take away something about financing. Don't listen to me, listen to Damonte. Uh, all right. So how do you feel, you know, being at your age and your friends, how do you feel about career and purpose and um like where are your friends at in their careers and as far as like where you're at?
um, I feel like I'm in a good spot. I feel like I'm in a really good spot. Um, I think I think especially around the time that I was in school, there was a huge boom in like the computer science field because I think people were learning how much coding was starting to become big and how much they were paying.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people were forcing themselves to like things. And I think cybersecurity was probably another one that wasn't as big, but like I minored in cybersecurity for the security and pay aspect,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew it wasn't like my passion. But I think some people force themselves to like it just for the pay. Um, but I haven't really met too many people who like chose to do something they didn't like. Like I knew that I wasn't gonna have like the highest paying job among my friends getting out of college,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew I was gonna be doing something that I like. Um,
So how did you know at your age like that the career path that you chose was something that you were going to enjoy getting up every day and doing? Like at what point in your life did you say I want to do supply chain management? Like how did you research that or even understand what it was? I didn't even know what it was until you went to school for it.
um, I don't think there was ever a moment or a day that I knew. Um, because when I went into college, I'm pretty sure I decided on like business management.
Mhm.
Um, because I always knew that I wanted to like have like a big role. But then I started thinking about it and I'm like, who's gonna let me manage their business if I haven't ever managed a business?
Yeah.
So then I started thinking about like the other ones that I could get into, and I knew that finance and like accounting, I knew that wasn't really exciting to me. Um, I think having literacy is important, but I think I didn't want to be doing other people's finances or
Mhm.
looking at numbers like that all day long. Um, I don't know what it was. I think I was just looking through the majors and I was like researching what each of it was, and then I think as soon as it was like I learned about supply chain and it was like increasing the efficiency of like movement of goods, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I don't know what about it is interesting to me still, but I think the fact that I don't know, it's hard. Not that I was worried about AI because at the time, like AI wasn't even really talked about that much, but I think it took a
Right.
lot of. I think for me, it was I knew it was gonna be a lot of critical thinking in terms of like what the best like outcome would be for something. Um, and there was a lot more to consider when it comes to like the entire supply chain.
Hmm.
And I think a really interesting class I took was cyber cybersecurity, but like with a supply chain focus.
Oh, okay.
So I was thinking about how everyone impacts your supply chain because
Yes.
if me and you, like if you source a lot of my goods,
Mhm.
but you have a weak cybersecurity, I'm just as vulnerable to getting breached as you are.
Right.
And any disruptions you face, I'm going to feel the repercussions of. So I think that's pretty interesting. And I mean, I think we're seeing it now with the tariff conversations we're having.
Yeah,
But
actually, that was gonna be my next question to you is in the company that you work for, what have you guys seen any changes or any effects contributing to what you guys do on a day-to-day basis with the tariffs that are going on? And
not directly because I'm not, or I haven't noticed any because I'm not on our purchasing team anymore. Um, but I do know that it seems like there seems to be a lot more like worldwide or at least statewide shortages because I think a lot of people were buying up
Mhm.
in a panic buy before whatever whatever's about to be imposed goes on. So I think we're seeing that more, but nothing in particular that I would know of.
Oh, okay. Cool. So, what advice would you give someone, say a college, um, or no, let's take it back a little bit further. What advice would you give to a high school student when they're trying to figure out, what do I want to do, or should I go to college? What should I be thinking about? Like, how do you think someone should know kind of like what their passion is?
I think it's going to be hard to say, and I think even you would agree that sometimes, or that it took you a while to figure out what you wanted to do. But
Mhm.
I think high school gives you the opportunity to at least get a better idea. Um, like I know the electives I took in high school were like finance and accounting related, and then I was in DECA, which was like a business club in a way. But I think, I mean, depending on schools, but a lot of the extracurriculars that you can choose to have, I think can help guide you towards a decision. Like, I think if there's clubs that offer like volunteering,
Mhm.
then maybe it'll be social work or healthcare. Like, because then it's at least guiding you down the path of where you can narrow it down a bit.
Right.
Um, I know, I know my school had us take tests and like ask us questions on things that like we'd want to do, and
Oh,
like
okay.
none of mine pointed mine to like being business.
What did they what did they point them
It
to?
it was like I think one of them it didn't directly say it, but it was like you could be a bus driver. I'm like I
Oh,
don't think I want
wow,
to drive
okay.
buses. I was like I don't think I want to do
The
that.
wheels on the bus go round and round. I don't I
someone's
don't
got to
think I
drive them.
you are a good driver, but I don't see you driving around a bunch of kids.
No, um, I don't think you have to have it figured out when you're in college, but it definitely makes it
Yeah.
easier so you spend the least amount of time in college.
Yeah.
Um, I think I got lucky because I found out what I wanted to do before my sophomore year, so I could start taking major specific classes then. Um, but I would say try everything,
Okay, that's good advice.
because then you can see what clicks and doesn't click. Like I knew, like I don't. You said I was good with math, but
Mhm.
I think I enjoyed math up until like the end of high school, and then like I started to struggle.
Yeah.
But even though I think like math is still interesting, there was some like business analytics class that were like extremely hard to me.
Oh, okay.
Um, but yeah, I wouldn't say if a class is hard within your major to consider changing it. I think a lot of people face that issue where if like one specific class is hard, then they'll just change their mind. But
Mhm.
I mean, hard classes are bound to happen. It's only a
Oh, for
semester
sure.
long, so
Yeah, and I agree. Like, I don't think people need to have things figured out. Like, by the time they graduate high school or trying to figure out what they want to do. I think, I think at any point in your life, you can change vectors on where you want your life to go. Cause I, I was working for the government, God, for 20 something years. And then at the end of August of 2021, so I had been an Intel analyst for so long, and I was dealing with all of the stuff in Afghanistan and us getting out of there. And on the last day that we were in Afghanistan, I made that my last day of work with the government. I was like, I need a break. Let me see. Cause I was like, this is all I know. This is all I know working for the government. So I was like, let me take a break. And one of my coworkers that I was deployed with, he was like, he was like, I think you would be a really great real estate agent. So I was like, okay. I was like, let me try it. So when I got back from the deployment, I worked for like a few more
Wait,
months. Huh?
I think we're gonna have to make a cut. My phone's on 5%, so I'm gonna have to go grab a charger
Oh, okay. I wonder if
before you get into the real estate part.
oh, okay. Shoot. I wonder if I can pause this. Okay, you go get your charger. I can't pause it though. I thought I could. I'll cut it out though.
Okay. It's crazy. My phone was literally on like 35% when we started, and it's on 5 right now.
Oh, well, 35% isn't a lot.
But losing 30% in an hour is crazy.
Oh, well, probably like recording video, it probably takes a lot of energy.
I know I didn't want it to just die.
Oh, yeah,
I
no. I'd be like, what the heck happened?
just gotta make sure it can stand up. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So
Okay, yeah, so
when you're exiting the military, someone suggested that you'd be a good real estate agent, and
oh,
I must say you did put your hardest effort into being one.
yeah, well, it wasn't when I was in the military, it was when I was a contractor deployed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Um, yeah, so I came back. I worked a couple more months and then I put in my notice for my last day to be August 30th, 2021. And I was like, I'm going to be a real estate agent. I was like, I just want to try this. All I know is working for the government and I just need a break. I was like, I just need a break from working for the government. So I I went through a course. I passed all of my tests on the first try. Um I was actually because I was getting my Florida real estate license and I was actually visiting my sister in California and I was able to do my state test out there. And I was so nervous. Like I couldn't even look at the results. I was so nervous. And when she came and picked me up, she was like, "So did you pass?" And I was like, "I don't know." I was like, "I haven't even dared to look at the letter." And so I took it out of the folder when I got in the car and it showed I passed. So we were all excited. Um, so I did real estate, I think, for maybe a little over a year. I told myself that I would give myself a year to try something new. Um,
How old
shoot.
were you?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. 44, 40, 45, maybe. I think 44, 45, somewhere around there. No. Nope. That's
You're
not it.
younger.
Because I'm about to be 46.
Yeah,
So
you were
that
like
is not
41 or
accurate.
42.
Huh?
You were like 41 or 42.
Yeah, somewhere around there. It was before I turned 45 for sure. Yeah, so I say that to say like, you can change things up, figure things out, but I gave real estate a try for a little over a year and I hated it. Oh, I did not like it. Um I realized like I am not an entrepreneur. Like I am not. I am not a
And that's
go-getter.
okay.
Huh?
and that's okay. I think we talk
Yeah.
about this. I mean, I'm learning a lot about like career and like I don't want to say running a job, but
Hmm.
I'm learning a lot of leadership aspects,
Yeah.
and that's something that we've talked about multiple times.
Yeah.
Not everyone wants to be the CEO. Not everyone
Yep.
wants to be responsible for what the bottom line is.
Right. Yeah. Like in real estate is a hard business. Like you are grinding every day. I don't like to grind. I don't even like to grind at my 9 to 5. Like, like I'm gonna be honest. Like I've been, working for the government for gosh, over 25 years. And it's just like, tell me what I need to do and I'll do it. Like that's the kind of person I think just being in the military that I'm accustomed to. Like tell me what I need to do and do it. Like and literally this morning I was planting flowers and my neighbors across the street, they're so great. So my neighbor across the street, I needed to borrow some gardening tools from her. And she ended up coming over after a little bit. She was like, "Do you need help?" And I'm like, "No, like you don't need to help me." I was like, "I got it." She knew I did not know what I was doing. So she was like, "I'm going to go get my shoes. I'm going to be back." And so I was like, and I told her, I was like, "You are now in charge." I was like, "I'm taking the back seat." I was like, "Tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it." So she was like, "Give me soil." I gave her soil. She was like, "Take the flowers out of the pot." I took the flowers out of the pot. Like that's how I can operate. Just tell me just tell me what I need to do. So anyway, so after I did like a little year and a half of real estate, I was like, this is not for me, and I was okay. Like I started thinking like, man, I don't want everyone that supported me like thinking that I'm a failure. And I really appreciated everyone's support, and everyone that was willing to take me on as their agent. Um, but I was like, you know what? I was like, it's okay for me to say this is not for me. Like I tried it. I put out like more hours than I ever wanted to into it. And I was like, this is not for me. Like this business is for hustlers and I'm not a hustler and I'm okay to say that. Um and I had an opportunity to go back to the government. I went back to the government and I recently got into a new position this past October of 2024. And I will say again, I'm the type of person where I don't take no for an answer. It just means try harder. So this position that I'm currently in now, I have been trying to get this position for 5 years. I had applied so many times. I have gone on quite a few interviews and I finally got it. And I love this job. And I am about to turn 46,
No,
47. I'm not good with
who knows?
what's that?
Who knows?
Anyway, I'm about to be old soon, but this goes to show like I know what my passion is. Like I love the job that I have. I love going there every day. The people that I work with, they're super cool. Not at first, took me a while to understand them, but I do like them. I respect them. I love what I do. I love who I support. And it took a little bit to get here and that's okay. So yeah, so I feel it takes time, but if you guys find it early on in life, then that is awesome. But I will say like don't go by other people's timelines. Like I do believe everything happens according to how your life is planned for you.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because I sort of see it firsthand, especially with like the program I'm in, um, it's like all of like my youngest manager so far, she was 30, and then I had a manager that was 50, and then my current manager, she's older than that. But I'm leading teams of people who are in their 30s and 40s.
Hmm.
So
That's
it's,
crazy.
yeah,
So how does that feel?
it feels weird. Um, I think it feels a little bit different now that I'm not rotating, because I think something that I struggled with was not earning respect
Mm,
from them, because I think everyone at my work respects me and they know that I'm smart and I mean well.
yeah.
Um, but I think sometimes, or like I know upcoming, it'll be like having like performance related discussions or like attendance related discussions with people who are twice my age, which is interesting because it's like, aren't
Mm,
these basics of
yeah.
like wanting to keep a job and keep food on the plate to me? But I guess to some people it's not. But I think something that we're trying to work towards, which I think will be good for me in my career, is like we're trying to help raise like the expectation of the entire team. Um, and something that I'm going to work towards is like seeing where everyone on my team wants to be.
Hmm.
Because, like we were saying earlier, not everyone wants to be a manager or a
Right.
leader or a CEO. So it's like determining who to give the energy to and the people who don't want to just be in a manufacturing facility forever. But there's
No,
nothing
I
wrong with
get
that.
it.
But
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with it because some people
Yeah.
make good money then.
Yeah, no, I agree because like I I've had over my time I've been in several leadership positions, and the position that I'm in now, I'm like I don't want to be a leader. Like I don't want the extra stress. Like I don't want the stress of having to do all of the extra work. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm just like, I was like, I just want to go to work, do my job and go home.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know. You might be able to answer this question, but w- have you experienced a failure that has shaped who you are for the better?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. Do you? I can think of mine if you have one to talk about, but I don't can't really think of a time where I was like, man, this really sucks.
Oh, okay. Um, I don't know. It's hard to say like the word failed though, because it's like I think we go through things and everything is a learning lesson.
Yeah.
But actually it
What
kind
was
of
your
goes,
biggest lesson?
what's
Yeah.
that?
I was about to say, what was your biggest lesson then?
Yeah, I would say actually kind of like what we were just talking about being a leader. Um, I think being in the military, I will take it back from when we were in Vegas. I remember being put as the supervisor of a young gentleman. And I'm just like, yeah, Damonte remembers. And I don't
He was a
know.
pain.
What's that?
He was a pain.
He was. And I'm just like, I don't know why they made me his supervisor, but I really feel like I didn't do a good job. But I also feel like I didn't know how to supervise him. I just didn't know. And I'm like, growing into the person that I am now, I'm like, man, like I really wish I would have handled certain circumstances differently or had conversations differently. Um, and then also after I retired from the military, becoming a contractor, that was quite a transition too, because I still have like a military mindset. And like you, I was a leader over people that were years older than me, having those conversations about coming to work on time, being professional in the workplace, doing your job like according to the standards that we're supposed to be doing them. And that was so challenging. Like that was like the biggest challenge that I'd ever had as a leader. Because I supervised like 20 people, and it was a lot. And I learned a lot from that. And I do feel that I failed in certain aspects of certain people that I did supervise during that time. Because now that I think back on it, I'm like, man, I really wish I would have handled that situation differently. So, I just put it all together in my basket of learned lessons and how to grow and move forward from those times. But it's like I feel like I think grown mentally in how to lead people and inspire people, and yeah, so I would say I think being a leader, and I think being a leader is challenging. Like it's hard, but I've learned I've learned a lot. I think I have earned like the badge of courage from all of those from all those circumstances. I'm like, good Lord, I don't know what God is doing, but he has a plan for me. um all right. So for I have some notes in my book. Um so I have 3 things. All right. Okay, so we're going to do like a little mini list of quick hits of 3 things that we wish we knew with no explanations, just thought bombs. What are like the top 3 things that you wish you knew that you feel people should know?
Oh, you want me to start right now?
Yeah, you can start.
Um, I think you need to party as much as you can when you're 21. Um, if you want it, then sleep doesn't matter.
I like that.
And
Okay.
the last one, what is the topic? Things we wish we knew,
Yeah, just
or advice?
or like 3 like truth bombs. Like
Oh,
3
truth
things
bombs.
that you kind of like live by. You can start
Um,
over. I can cut out the other ones. Okay, so we'll start over. So,
three. All right, 3 truth bombs. Give me a second.
okay, yeah. 3 truth bombs, just a quick list of top 3 things of like things that you live by.
You can sleep when you're dead. Drink as much as you can when you turn 21, and start exercising.
I like that. Yes. All right. Mine are don't compare your journey to someone else's. Saying no is a form of self-respect, and time is currency. Spend it well.
Nice.
Yep. All right. So we want to say thank you, everyone, for joining in to our second episode. I will say I have loved this episode. I've really enjoyed the conversation. Uh,
It's
Damonte's
never what we
probably
think it's
like,
gonna be.
what's that?
I said it's never what we think it's gonna be.
No, yeah. And I love going off track a little bit. Um, I think, if we have been able to reach anyone and educate someone on all, what we discussed today, something that we wish we knew sooner, or things that I wish I knew in my 20s, I really hope that we were able to help someone today. So if you guys have any questions for Damonte, put it in the comments because clearly I
Or
am not good
advice.
with my finances.
Or advice, because I still have 20s left to go. So
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep. So
still another
Damonte, I will
half.
say Damonte's way smarter with finances than I am. Damonte's been helping me a lot. I will say that. I take all my financial advice from Damonte. So Damonte, any parting words?
Not for this episode.
Okay.
If there's anything people want us to talk about, to comment, and I think we'd be happy to talk about it. So
Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, put your suggestions down below and give us a like, give us a follow, and tell a friend to tell a friend. So thank you for joining us on episode number 2, and we will see you next time.
yep.
All right.
Thank you guys.
See you later. Bye.
And that's a wrap.
Cheers. Oh no, I should say, and that's a wrap as well, huh?
Probably.
Okay, we'll do that again.
Thanks for tuning in.
That's a
Cheers. And that's a wrap.